We should be live or by now, I would say.
I'm just refreshing my YouTube screen.
I think we are.
Just
Yes, we
still
are
says
live.
waiting. Yep, there we go. It's just needs a refresh, but it's coming up.
We're doing well. Hello, welcome to the Geordies v Mackems, and Mackems v Geordies, and we've just got Malta Singh joining us now. Hey, good evening,
evening, Malta.
chaps. You all right?
All right, lads.
Come on, up you get. Come on, in your chair. Come on.
Dear me.
Your fans are here.
Oh, got people in the chat already. Hello to Dak. Hello to Beaconsfield, Susie Forrester, David Graham. How you doing? James SAFC Ramsey. How you doing? Good to see everybody in. He says, can't wait for Europa League football next season. I can't believe I'm saying it, to be quite honest with you. David Graham, temperature in my room. I know it's mental. Hello, Colin Major. How you doing? Gary. Well, I don't know where to start with this, to be honest with you. Rob, did you watch the game, or were you entertaining, or?
We were actually out at Beamish Museum all day yesterday. So first half, I was just checking in on the scores. We got home with about 10 minutes left of the game to go, so sat listening at the radio. Catch the last 10 minutes of the commentary. Yeah, absolutely stunned. Couldn't have asked for more, particularly for Malta, because he's going to be able to use his passport next year.
Hello, Baz. I thought you were away, sunshine.
Just got through the door.
Let's go through the door.
You got me till 9:30, and I need a shower.
Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, it was just mad, Rob, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know me. I've said all along I didn't think Europe was a particularly good idea for us this season. Basically because it might stretch us a little bit too far next year. I would have preferred to personally wait for another year or so before pushing for Europe. But shit happens. We're in there. We make a fist of it, do what we can. Simple as that. That's all you can do.
Doing. Malta, how are you doing? Hello, Scotty, Baz, good to see you both.
I'm absolutely fantastic. Best 12 months supporting Sunderland in my lifetime. Not ever, because when Rob was a young'un, when we won the title and the FA Cup between 36 and 37, that's obviously the best 12 months in Sunderland's history.
Yeah.
But for this generation, for my generation, for the people who've been supporting Sunderland for the last 46 years like me, this is categorically the best 12 months of our supporting lifetime. We won at Wembley, we won at the playoffs. Only one of the teams who finished above were actually beat were at home. We beat Newcastle, home and away. We did the double against Chelsea. We were the first team to score against Arsenal in the league or something. It's just like we lost a load of players for AFCON. We had injuries. We had suspensions. We had a little bit of a dip. We came through it and we picked ourselves up after getting thrashed. The worst home defeat I've ever seen, 5-0 to Forest. And it was at that point, it was like, right, Sunderland are just going to drop to 14th, 15th or something, or they're going to do something, turn it around. And we turned it around and we've made Europe. Every single pundit has been messaged by me saying, eat your fucking words. Sorry for swearing, Cabby. I don't normally swear, but I had to. Because everybody wrote what off. Every single pundit wrote what off.
Yeah, they did.
I think if you remember, I said at the start of the season that I had were down for 12th, right? And we finished above 12th, 5 places above 12th. We finished 7th. We finished in Europe all the way along. I'd been saying finishing in Europe would just be absolutely amazing. And everyone says, "Oh, you're getting to Europe, and then you can get relegated." Actually, only once as a side qualified for Europe and went down in all of the seasons that Europe has been there on the table. If they've qualified into Europe via the league, so that's just bull, to be honest. From all
So what
these,
you're saying is would you a team that finished in Europe to go down because it's only happened once, so it's got to happen again at some point. So we must be due one then.
it's only happened once. That means it's not a regular occurrence, Baz.
That's what I just said. If you listen to what I said,
Well,
so
I
it
did.
hasn't happened for so long. It means we must be due for it to happen again.
Nah. To be honest, the only northeast side that'll get relegated next season, if any, does is Hughes.
Do you think?
Fuck off.
If you keep a hold of it, anyhow, Anyway,
Jesus.
forget about these Geordies. This weekend, it is all about Sunderland. It's our achievement. We've done it. Yous have had 100, 200 games in Europe. I don't know, whatever it is, right? And you've had some great, you've had great European nights. This is now for us to drink it in. Mind the gap.
I didn't say that, guys.
I didn't
Just
say
remember that. I didn't say it.
Richie, good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Please, that will
No
join in.
trophy for me, Baz, this week.
Scotty, Baz, we'll start with you, Baz. Obviously, were you expecting a bit more from your team against Fulham?
I was expecting a hell of a lot more. We all thought we were going to go into the game and try something different maybe and attack Fulham and go on guns blazing. And it was shite. There's no other word for it. It was one of the worst performances I've watched probably all season. And there's been some bad performances, but that was terrible. I reckon we must have had about 5 minutes of the whole 90 where we actually played some decent football. That's how bad it was.
Scotty, do you agree?
Oh, mate. I tell you what it is, right? If we just shot ourselves in the foot, we might as well have just shot ourselves in the foot before we went out. Bang. Because it was absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. It was shocking.
What do you put that down to than just end of season syndrome? I mean, because you've not got a bad record at Fulham, I believe.
Do you know what it is? There's a mentality thing that needs to change at Newcastle, and it will. It will.
I don't know if the Tonali injury and the warm-up didn't help that he changed the formation last minute because he was playing a 4-2-3-1. Tonali gets injured, he then goes to a back five. And it just didn't work. It just stank.
Just stank. Richard, what did you? Were you at the game?
I was at the game, yes, Stu. Yeah.
What did you think? Everybody's going on about how electric the atmosphere was outside the ground before and during and after.
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't breathe on account of the pyros. Thank you, Malta, for that and the information. Bloody hell. The welcome that the coach got in was absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. I spent some time with the rest of the boys. As you know, you'll have seen the videos, Terry and Wayne and the boys. And just the whole day from start to finish, it was just unreal. A lot of people have turned around to me and said, this beats Wembley. I'm sorry it doesn't, but it's just up there with it.
Should beat Wembley. It's a bigger achievement.
It is. It is bigger than Wembley, Rich. It's like...
Give us your chat. Give us your bloody space back.
I've been to the Wembley wins, right? This was in our own ground, a very partisan crowd, right?
Yeah.
And getting into the Premier League, obviously they say the playoff final the Championship playoff final is the biggest game of football because it opens up everything for the Premier League. But then this is taking a next step, which
It's
I
just-
honestly
we're
never
just
thought would
up
get
to
there,
it. We're
Rich.
just, Malta, we're just up to another level now. And now
Exactly.
we're definitely in, you know, I mean, we were in uncharted territory at the end of last season.
Or like
Now,
anything.
this is real proper uncharted territory.
Rich, do me a favour, just do that.
Oh, sorry, Buzz.
Oh no, he looks like a lobster.
Yeah, right. I've had this shirt about 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
I-
see your face
I
as
remember
well.
those
You've been in
shirts.
the sun too long.
I remember those shirts when they were all the rage in the 90s, Rich. It was they came out, I think, just after the 1990 World Cup.
Yeah, be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always worn it as a over. I've never worn it for a game. I only wear it for around and about the house. You
Looks
know,
like
walk
you're getting
sideways
people
in it
there,
as well.
Rich.
Do you walk
Were you a
sideways
fat
in
lad
it
back
as
in
well?
the day?
what was that?
Do you walk sideways in it as well?
No. You can always tell the difference between Royal Air Force and the Army because the crabs always walk sideways.
Oh, dear.
So how's everybody after yesterday? Come on, how are we? Are
Oh.
we still stuck to the ceiling like me, or what?
Just a bit.
Yes.
Just a bit.
Passport out. Dates all in the diary. Days off booked. So what I've decided is I'm going to do Thursday, Fridays for the away games.
Yeah.
Because the away matches, like the Europa League, starts quite late. Some of them start at like 8 o'clock kickoff and that, because they have two kickoff times, isn't it? They
Yep.
have like a 5
Yes,
o'clock and
they
a
have a
Friday and
half-5,
Thursdays and a
half-5 and
Fridays,
8
aren't they?
o'clock.
half
No, it's
5 and
not
8 o'clock.
Friday. It's only a Thursday night.
Yeah, so
You
that's
don't
why.
play on a Friday night.
No, that's why I'm taking Thursdays and Fridays off so I can get back on a Friday flight.
Yeah, no, Richard said they play on a Friday. I said they don't. It's only a Thursday, but you can get 5:30 kickoffs, so 5:45. You can get 7:45 kickoffs, 8 o'clock kickoffs. It just depends on where it is in the country, because there's
Buzz,
different
that could
where it is
be,
in the world.
So
in Europe,
that could be Friday in Azerbaijan, couldn't it?
it definitely won't be there. Definitely won't be.
Oh,
Every
Jesus Christ.
Friday night Azerbaijan.
You can tell they're new to Europe, can't you, Scotty? They don't even know what times they kick off and what
Mate,
days
mate,
they kick off. They're not used to
you gotta
it.
get fucking lost. You gotta
Baz, can you see this water behind my ear? Because I'm wet behind the ears when it comes to bloody Europe.
Sorry, Malta. I've been there, mate.
It's all right. We're going to start banning you. We're going to ban you from our airport, so you can't get away.
Hang on.
Excuse me,
Hang on.
Buzz.
Abby,
We
Hang on.
already
Did
own
you
that
see
airport.
those,
now,
Council
remember,
owns a
right?
fair chunk of that airport, mate.
Abby, do you want to put that on the screen? You know, the airport ones.
I've already sent them it.
Yeah. I
Remind
did
me
have a laugh
again.
at that one, Baz.
Did you like?
It's a good one.
I'm
Yeah.
sure if you remind me again, doesn't Newcastle Airport belong to Sunderland District Council?
No, it's Durham
Oh,
County
Sunderland own it
Council
more
own
than
a fair
Newcastle.
Durham
chunk of
County
it.
Council, is it?
Yeah.
I knew it didn't belong to Geordies, like.
Aye. I've already put one of the pictures up, Malta. You probably didn't see it your end.
I did see it, Stu.
Yeah.
Well, I'll open that on a different screen.
You
Oh,
want to
she's...
see some of the pictures that I've got, man? Our local coach company, it belongs in the village, Roberts and Towers, and I made an image up of a 737, the 800 series with their logo down the side saying, right, boys, for our local branch, Daisy Transport, and we are going to be travelling from Shotton Colliery International Airport and Parachute Centre.
In all seriousness, though, like think about going into next season now. Thinking about your squad, you are going to lose players because players are inevitably going to go to potentially the Champions League clubs.
Yep.
There's some big clubs looking at your players.
Yeah.
2 players I think will lose.
So you think you'll lose 2? So how many?
I think we'll lose
buy?
2 of our marquee players.
Okay. So then, how many do you think you're going to need to buy to be competitive as a squad in 4 competitions?
Well,
Well,
again,
no.
you talk about 4 competitions. I think that they will prioritise the Premier League and the Europa League, really. But I mean, I've spoke to somebody. I'm not going to say who it is. They've already had this scenario already being planned for the last 6 weeks. So just like they had the list for staying in Championship and going up, they also had a Conference League list. They had a Conference League list, but they are now got a Europa League list. So you know what it is? The Sunderland recruitment team and the draw that getting into the Europa League, which, let's be honest, lads, I didn't ever think we were really going to do it, right? And we signed players just on the strength of Granit Xhaka joining Sunderland as the captain, and then all the other players who signed after him. So I've got you know what it is? I've got no worries. You know, it might be roof scores to Bayern or somewhere like that, right? And maybe Siddiqui. I mean, I'd hate to see Siddiqui go. But again, it's like Kieran Louis-Dreyfus is a rich guy, right? You know, contracts are amortized over the duration of the period that they're over. You know, if
5
players
years
say,
maximum. 5 years
Pardon?
maximum. 5 years maximum
Yeah.
amortization on contracts. Hence the reason why Chelsea still offer 8-year contracts, but only 5 years of it gets amortized.
Right,
And
okay.
don't forget, you're only allowed you've lost 10% of your SCR for next year as well because you're in Europe.
Yeah, you're down to 75%, 75% on SCR
Something like
next year,
that.
Baz.
70.
70, yeah. So basically you get penalised for being in Europe because you can't spend as
Yeah.
much money. Yeah.
But you've got
Just
additional
stupid.
income, and you can bring
Yes.
other players in. You know, and again, you know what it is? It's like it's a balancing act. But let's have faith in the ownership group and the scouting team at Sunderland, because I mean, Roofs and even I forgot who was the keeper who played against Newcastle. Fuller.
Osborne.
Melberg.
Melberg.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. He wasn't phased going in the bloody Lions Den at St James's. He wasn't phased at all.
No, true.
Good point.
He had
He's a
decent
good.
game, so-
He's a good keeper. Simple as that. You know,
and
we signed
Robbie,
2
he's a
cracking
good keeper.
keepers.
Yeah.
He made the mistake though for the goal though, didn't he?
Well,
He
he
is,
passed it
yeah.
to 09
it
and then
was
passed
it was Luke
to
O'Neill made the mistake. Let's be honest.
Voldemort, who
This is a great one. This one, like
passed
I
it to
love
Krusty.
image.
Scotty, Baz, I have seen it loads of times before, but it's 10 times as bad. My God, the How Out Brigade were out on force yesterday. I
Of
mean,
course they were.
honest to
Yeah,
God,
You notice how they were quiet for the last 3 games, and then Sunday we lose a game, they all come out in force because it was a very hard watch and a very hard game to defend Eddie Howe after it, which is why they come out in force because the performance was that bad, and it's hard to say, you know, well, it's the last game of the season, the players are on the beach. I mean, Bruno looked like a spent force. Just the board have said Eddie Howe's staying. We're going to back Eddie Howe. So if you're a Newcastle fan, you should be doing the right thing and backing the manager. If you don't want him there, then fair enough. Voice your opinion, but be respectful. You know, there's far too many people hounding, abusive. It's just boring. I'm
Baz,
And that's wrong.
35.
Honestly,
Baz,
I
35.
think that's really wrong.
35 or more years ago, there was a similar movement at Sunderland, Roker Park, when we were demanding change as supporters, and a group was set up called SAFC, and it was Sunderland Association
Against.
for Change.
Wasn't it got something against or something?
Something like that, Malta, and we all got these red cards to hang up in the Fulwell end as an objection to the directors at the time, you know.
right.
But anyway, that's 35, 38, 39 years ago, you know. Does the times come around again? personally speaking. I think you Eddie Howe out, lads at Newcastle might be barking up the wrong tree. I think he might
I
be
think so.
barking up the wrong tree. He's been
I
there
think so
for some
too.
years now, but had his hands tied for at least the 3 to 4 seasons that I can think of, and in
Wasn't it
conversations
3
that I've had
transfer
with you,
windows
Baz.
that he wasn't able to sign anybody, Baz?
Yeah,
4.
4 transfer windows.
4.
He's won
And
you a
then-
trophy. He's got us
and
into
then-
the Champions League.
Exactly, twice.
There you go.
And,
Yeah.
and this summer, when everything went wrong, he had no CEO, he had no DOF. He was left to run the whole football club himself,
yeah.
which is why all the blame has fallen on him. But
Yeah.
that man's a coach. He's there to coach players. He's not there to negotiate contracts and to do all the scouting and to sign all the players. He was meant to go away on holiday, refresh, and get ready for the season, and let everybody else do the backroom stuff. And none of that happened. He was left to fight for everything.
He's left to fight for everything. Yeah,
And people just have not given him enough credit. We're talking about the man who's won our first trophy in 70 years. And some people are calling him a fraud. How can you call a man a fraud who's won a trophy? And he
Yeah.
beat Arsenal and Liverpool on the route to winning that trophy as well. It wasn't exactly an easy run. You know, we had to beat Arsenal twice, which is a very hard thing to do. Then we beat Liverpool in the final of it. But yeah, he's a fraud because nobody wants to win the Carabao Cup. Even though this year we saw Man City and Arsenal in the final.
Well,
You know,
That's because that was the only thing Man City were going to win, wasn't it?
I'll
That's
won the
the-
FA Cup
the-
as
so
well.
they ended
But
up with a double,
the
didn't they?
only
But
thing that I
Mourinho
can safely
and Pep-
say that I can remember, right, is Newcastle's major last cup that they won. It was the Fairs Cup in
that wasn't a major cup.
1969.
That wasn't a major cup, Richard. That was an invitational event based around the Intercity Fairs, which was a trade event.
It was a trade event. Aye.
So that wasn't actually a UEFA competition. That's not a major trophy.
Well, that was the
First
last
Cup
thing that
class
they
is a
won.
major trophy.
Aye.
It wasn't a major
The-
trophy.
The
The
first,
Carling Cup's a major trophy. The Fairs Cup is an invitational event. Newcastle only qualified because London had more teams above Newcastle from London. They could only have one side.
They could
Same
only-
with Birmingham
Right.
as well, right? So it was Intercities fairs. It's like my nephew goes to global trade fairs all around the world. This was just like getting, the businessmen of the area going along to the intercity fairs. Like they had a fair when the final was on and stuff like that. So it
Mm.
wasn't actually a trophy, but we can't even talk about now because they won a trophy last season.
Still
So,
a major trophy.
you know what it is? He's the only living manager. He's the only Newcastle manager alive who's won a trophy, right? You won your first trophy for 70 years. He actually had the hardest route to the final.
He did.
If you look at all of the sides, he beat the league champions. He beat second place, right? Who else did he beat in the Premier League?
Brentford. It was Brentford, Arsenal, City. No, City was City in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup? I can't remember now.
Wasn't it?
It was a really
Right.
hard run.
It was, you know,
Was
and it
Chelsea
like
in
every
there?
point I was thinking, oh, they're going to get beat here, they're going to get beat here, and they bloody didn't.
Was Chelsea not in there?
No,
No, I don't think they were.
Anyway,
Or was Chelsea the season before?
season before, I think.
do you think that the owners are backing Eddie? Because even like his press conferences that I've seen, it's been very like he doesn't know really what's going on.
Oh no, you were right. It was Chelsea. So it was Forest away on penalties. Then we beat Wimbledon at home 1-0. That was a terrible game.
That's
We
the
were
game we
lucky
should
to
have
get
got knocked out
through.
in.
Yeah, we were terrible. Then we beat Chelsea at home. Then we beat Brentford at home. Then we beat Arsenal away, Arsenal at home. Got to the final and beat Liverpool. That's a harder run than what Villa had in the Europa League to get to the final and win it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Just shows you. But
But he's a fraud.
he's a fraud. Yeah.
He's a fraud.
But he's
And
a fraud.
Even though we've had a really poor league season, we still got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, got beat off Man City, who won it. We got to the last 16 of the FA Cup, we got beat off Man City, who won it.
Who won it?
And then we got to the last 16 of the Champions League and got absolutely hammered by Barcelona in one game. You know, it's
Yeah.
Do you not think it?
you know,
Do you not think it made things worse as well to rub salt in the wounds? The fact like what we did finishing for Europe as well. Do you think that's just got them more angry, as if to say, look, I mean, how can a newly promoted team do what they've done? And you know, we've established Premier League side with the squad what we've got. Do you not think that's really wound them up to say, Eddie, there's no excuse for that. There's no way on earth we should be finishing below Sunderland like that, and they're into Europe. Do you think that's what's really cheesing off the Newcastle fans?
I think I would cheese off quite a few Newcastle fans, but it doesn't cheese me off. At the end of the day, we look after ourselves. You shouldn't be looking about what your neighbours are doing. I have no problems with what you guys done. You've had an amazing season, but it's 1 in a million when it happens. There's not many teams come up into the Premier League now and finish in the top half of the table straight away. Last season, all 3 of them went down, didn't they?
Yeah, and the one
This
before.
season, and the one before. This season, we've actually had a bit of a surprise where 2 have stayed up and only 1 have gone down.
I think, you know, in our achievement of finishing 7th and getting into the Europa League, I think a special mention does have to go to Leeds United because, you know, they've had some good results and, you know, they've stayed up and they've bucked the trend, you know, which had happened 2 years in a row of staying up. And I mean, I see the 3 teams who are coming up this season.
Oh, I don't think any of them have got a chance.
But the thing is,
Really,
you
could
never know,
Spurs
though.
have another relegation battle next year?
No.
No,
This was the season they should have went down. If they were going to go down, it was this year. I think they'll do with Everton. Everton floated with it for a few years, got away with it, and brought Moyes back. And look at them. They've gotten a very good manager now. I think he sorts it out through the summer. I really do.
Yeah.
West Ham got themselves relegated with them bad performances against Newcastle and Brentford. So, you know, it's things like that.
It's not over 2 games, though, is it? It's 38 game season. West Ham got them relegated because they were poor all season, really. Yeah. And Spurs are lucky that look at their last couple of games. They beat Wolves 1-0. They beat Everton 1-0. They scrapped through and scraped through and just managed to do it. It's a shame for West Ham. I would like to have Spurs to gone down, but it is what it is. But your achievement's amazing. But again, I'll go back. The greatest achievement ever for a team coming up from it was the old First Division to the Championship into the Premier League was Newcastle United.
Did you win the league?
Finished 3rd.
That's not winning the league.
Yeah, but it's the best achievement that any team has ever made coming out of the old First Division and into the Premier League. It's now the Championship.
Didn't Norwich finish 3rd?
No teams beat us.
Where did Norwich finish when they got promoted and finished got into Europe?
Didn't they finish 7th? 7th or something?
No, it wasn't 7th.
So I remember when we finished 3rd, we got beat first game of the season against Spurs 1-0, then got beat off Coventry away 2-1 or 3-1. Then we drew with Man United at Old Trafford 1-1, and that was our first point. And we never looked back, and we finished 3rd that year. Best promoted.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to go.
Okay,
Sorry,
Rob.
but
I've
got guests downstairs and there's a beer waiting for me, so I better go. It'll go flat. It'll go flat.
It'll go flat, aye.
Cheers, everybody. I'll put a message in the comments. It's been brilliant banter over the last few months.
Have you changed your mind yet about Europe then, Rob, before you go?
No, I'm still. Gary V mentioned earlier on that, you know, we'd need to buy some additional players. I think we need an additional squad because otherwise we're going to struggle.
Rob, I think you're right there, right? And I've had this discussion with a load of fans yesterday. And to be honest, 5 or 6 players to come in will probably make that difference. In all honesty, I looked at some figures today. If you were to make it right the way through the final of Europa, don't get us wrong. If we did it, that's fantastic. If we fail at the first attempt, I won't be disappointed. Yeah. But you're talking about 46 and 47 games to be played between both the Premiership and the Europa League.
Yeah. And then you've got the cup games as well,
And then
the
you've got
domestic cups.
perhaps domestic cup games like your FA Cup, which I love, right, to come in between as well.
Yeah.
That is the kind of thing that paid part and parcel to the demise, I believe, of Newcastle this season, plus the inability for them to be able to purchase over 2.5 windows to nearly 3 seasons. I'm enjoying being part of being Europa now, right? I'm enjoying like the day, especially after yesterday. But if we fail at the first leg, I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yeah. No. No,
You can't be.
I wouldn't argue with that at all. But
Found the
I
information.
personally just think it's a year too early. Anyway, chaps,
Never too early, Rob.
great
Sure,
talking
I'm gonna
to
say,
you.
I'm gonna show
Enjoy,
Sir
Rob.
Bounty before you go, Rob. We're gonna say to Ron
I
about.
think he's gone downstairs with
Oh,
the
the
guests. so
unsociable
Don't blame
bugger!
him.
Bloody
He's
hell's bells.
he's been a right sort. He was on earlier, of course, but he's bogged off. Anyway, peeps.
Might catch you on Thursday night then, Rob.
Yep.
Might
Quite
get you on
probably, mate.
Thursday night.
Yep. I'll be
Yep.
back and available.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Cheers,
Boston
Rob.
night,
Enjoy your
Rob.
night.
Cheers, everybody.
Hey, Rob.
All right,
See you
Rob.
later.
Cheers, mate.
Thank God he's
So
gone.
Malta, Norwich aren't
Right.
even in this list. Norwich aren't even on the list.
Well, they're not. That might have been in the
Oh.
old Division 1 then, before the Premier League.
Probably. 1993-94, Newcastle finished third. Nottingham Forest, 1994-95, finished third as well. So they
Oh.
actually joined with Newcastle. 1992-93, Blackburn finished fourth. 2000-2001, Ipswich finished fifth. Sunderland in 1999-2000 finished seventh. 2018-19, Wolves finished seventh. And Sunderland in 25-26 finished seventh. So Newcastle and Forest topped the list. I did tell you.
You know what it is though? You know, in those days as well, like
With
the
more games
gap
as well.
between it was a different game. The
Oh, it
gap
was.
between the Premier League and the Championship was very, very different.
It was, but it still shows you that not many teams do it though.
Oh no,
Doesn't matter how big the gap is now and what it was then. There is not many teams have finished high when they've come up from the league below.
But I mean, apart from that Newcastle side, was that Keegan's side?
Yeah, Keegan's side. Yeah, when we had Beardsley
That was
and Andy
Keegan's
Cole.
side. I mean, you've got to think of the signings that he made though as well. Some of those players.
Well, in that first season, there wasn't that many signing. He signed Peter Beardsley.
Beardsley, exactly.
Yeah, but he was 33 when we signed him.
We signed Granit Xhaka when he was
He
33.
was, yeah.
There
And
you go.
then
It was only one side. It wasn't loads of signings when we got up. Well, when we went up, we basically went up with the team that was from that division.
Did you have Andy Cole in your promotion winning side?
Yes. We
Right.
bought him halfway through the season when we went up.
Yeah, from Bristol City.
So he was already
Right.
at the club.
back
We
in
didn't
those
make that many
days,
signings.
back in those days of the Kevin Keegan era, Baz, I worked at the Sunderland Echo.
Right.
I was working both employed with them part-time temporary, but also freelance. I was a pro. In my past history, I used to be a professional freelance photographer, so I covered quite a lot of games for Sunderland, Hartlepool, a little bit down the road from me. Politely declined to cover St James's Park.
Why?
And
Why would you do
South
that?
Shields, right? But the thing is, I remember the day the news headings came out when Shearer was first signed for Blackburn,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And I had to go out as a driver in my part-time job with the Echo. I had to go out with the driver to put these headboards out on the balustrades outside the newsagent's shop to say, oh my God, look who the Mags have just signed for 15 billion quid, right? And
World record fee at the time as well.
it was an absolute record fee at the time, and I still remember the shockwaves through the shockwaves through Sunderland were unbelievable. The shockwaves through Sunderland were unreal, and through when I worked at the Echo, I mean I was at the Echo for years and years. It was just unreal that they could sign a person of his caliber,
Mm.
and it split up the Sutton and Shearer sort of thing that he had
Yes, yeah.
at Blackburn. Then he went to score, was it 201 goals? Something like that, 201. But you've got to remember, 199 of them was from the penalty spot.
Jesus.
Get the digs in, Rich.
He would have scored a lot more as well if he hadn't lost 3 years of his career.
Where did he lose 3 years of his career?
Smashed his knee twice, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't know. Didn't know. Not like
He would
not like
have-
the Premier League was really in our purview
Mm.
during a lot
Well,
of that time.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just come back into fucking view this year.
Exactly. I mean, I still couldn't really name you many Premier League sides. You know, like from when I was a kid, I used to know, like I could probably name you all of the Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal teams because they were the big sides. And like obviously from playing Football Manager, you know, as a kid and a young adult and stuff, and playing FIFA. But now I couldn't name you any 11 from any Premier League side apart from Sunderland. But anyway, forget about that, Baz. What do you think is next for Newcastle? Like for next season? Obviously that what's he called? You know, the one who always wears the stupid headband. Gordon,
he's gone.
Gordon's away.
Yeah.
Anybody else, or is because he's had a great Champions League, but he's been crap in the league.
He's had his head turned again.
Liverpool or
Bayern Munich.
I think he's going to go to Bayern Munich, yeah?
I think he would if they pay the money. But Bayern Munich are very, very far out of what we want for them. Other players potentially leaving, Tino. I mean, Arsenal think they've signed him. I mean, if they're offering 50, 60 million for him, I'd take it and run because he's always on the injury list.
And how much did you pay for him?
I want to say 35, I think. 30, 35.
I remember when you signed him, I actually had to take him out of my Football Manager side because he was a really good young player.
Well, he still is. But again, his injury record is terrible. It's a bit like Isak. Great player, but only available 3/4 of the season if you're lucky. I mean, what's going to happen next? Honestly, I haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. It's a rebuild, and it's a big rebuild. And I think there's a lot of Newcastle fans now, even though we've got the richest world owners in the world, not the richest club in the world, their expectations need to be down to a few pegs. Because we're not going to be challenging for Champions League places next year. I don't care who we are. No,
it's like
not a chance.
This sort of one in, one out. Like if you look at Man United this season, like they were knocked out on the first round of the League Cup and then the FA Cup in the third round, right? And so they've just been playing one game a week, right? And they've what do you call it? They have changed manager as well.
That's a big key. If they didn't change the manager, I don't think Ten Hag would have got them in the Champions League.
Oh no, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. You know, that bus is still running of his rubbish formation. What was it? 3-5-2 or something?
3-2-2-2 or something stupid like that.
Something stupid, right? Where do you think you might finish then next season? Based on if you lose Livramento and Gordon.
Depends who we buy, but I'm thinking if we keep the nucleus together, we should be challenging between, I'll say 5th, but that'll probably be a Champions League spot again because of all the English teams do well.
I think 5th is definitely going to be a Champions League spot going forward because even in Spain now, that's a Champions League spot because of their coefficient. Because Real Madrid have won it so many times, and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have got the many finals as well. So they've now got a permanent 5th place position in the Champions League as well.
Points reset every season. It all
Yeah.
depends on how well all the teams do in Europe on this. So next season, we need to beat at least Italy or Spain or Germany, beat all those teams to guarantee fifth to be a Champions League spot.
Well, look, we've already had one English side win a European trophy. I think Palace are going to win theirs.
Oh yeah, but that's we've already got fifth for this season. For next season, it's bang back to zero.
No, but
and then the players in Europe, the teams in Europe, then have to outshine all the other teams in Europe.
right. So is it not based on? So is it next season's places not based on this season's performance in the Champions League, unlike in Europe?
No.
Right.
No,
I don't
I wouldn't
understand
have
that.
thought
Obviously,
I wouldn't
Reset
have thought
straight
that at all,
away.
Malta. I wouldn't have thought that at
Resets.
all.
So next season, basically, it works on a point system. The amount of games that the English teams win, you get a certain amount of points, and it all depends on what
so it can
competition you
fluctuate
get the
through the
points in.
season.
Yeah.
That's a bit shit, like, isn't it?
It's always been like that. So, for example,
Welcome to Europe.
let's just say all the English teams lose in the Champions League, but then all the English teams win in the Europa League and the conference and get really deep into the competition. But if the Italians and Spanish teams get further in the Champions League, they'll get more points because you get more points in the Champions League.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's that's how it works. So I think it only got decided when we all reached the last 16 of the Champions League. That's when the place got nailed down for fifth.
Right.
Because we won more. Because like the other Italians and Spanish couldn't catch us.
Yeah.
But there's only two places, so it's always the Spanish, the Italians, and the Germans fighting for that extra place every season.
So Villa not back in Europa League, seeing the one at the North.
No, Villa.
Villa are in
through
Champions
league
League
position and winning the Europa League. They're in the Champions League.
All right, so they won't be playing both competitions. It'll just be Champions League.
No, hell no! How can you do that? They can't play Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. That'll be well harsh. Could you imagine that?
So the Champions League takes priority.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
That's why you'll never ever see a repeat winner of the Europa League now, or the Conference League, because whenever you win it, you get put into the league above, into the competition above, so you can't defend your trophy. So there'll always be a new winner of it every year. The only one that you could repeat is the Champions League, and that's it. The way that it is. So, to answer your question, more fifth to eighth. That's what I would realistically set Newcastle as a target personally, fifth to eighth. And I think a lot of expectations need to come down a bit because our signings in the summer is going to be very,
what is the one key position that if you have a bomb scare of all of their signings, what is the key position that needs to be signed properly?
I would say on performances this season, another midfielder who has got creativity and who can unlock a defence. So another Bruno, because whenever we lose Bruno, we're a side that can't win a football match. I think we won one in something like 28 games when he's been missing, something stupid like that. We are a one-man team.
Yeah, officially.
Officially a one-man team, yeah. It's
like basically, Baz, you're going to be looking at next season as being the season for rebuilding.
Yeah, growth. Rebuild, growth. I would love a cup run again, but we've got to prioritise which... I mean, if we're in Europe, we'll have to prioritise Europe and Premier League, like Martin said about what Sunderland need to do. This season, we did it wrong. Because we won the Carabao Cup, we prioritised that cup as well, and we should have said, sod it. Leave it out. Play the reserves. Get knocked out of it. FA Cup, play the reserves, get knocked out of it, concentrate on the Premier League and the Champions League. Because your money is the Champions League. 75 million we made from the Champions League, I think it was. And then your league, and the only way you're going to get that chunk of money again is if you qualify for it again. And we didn't. So we're now going to have this up and down in our SCR chart. Loads of money, no money, loads of money, no money. And that's what we've got to stop. We need to have the money. And the only way to do Chelsea, that is qualifying for Europe. They're fucked as well.
Is this the first time in 29 years they've not qualified for Europe?
Yeah, something stupid like that, yeah. Might
Mental,
be a
that,
little
like.
bit less than 29 years. They started qualifying for Europe consistently when Mourinho came in, and then they were never out of it, were they? So that was
Scotty, what
about,
do you think? Do you think
God,
do you
it's
think you're
about
going to
20
have to
years.
massively rebuild? Really, that much?
There is a rebuild to be done. Does he need to
a
massively
rebuild, though?
rebuild?
Is it a rebuild, though, to just cement yourself to make sure you stay in the Premiership? Or is it a rebuild to cement yourselves in the Premiership and then go on into Europa? It's a difficult one. I get it, lads. I understand it. I don't know. I mean, I'm a Mackem, right?
I personally still don't think, no, anybody that's saying it's a rebuild to stay in the Premier League needs to give the heads a wobble. We've had a bad season. This team wouldn't go down. This team still wouldn't
unless
go down.
Bruno was injured all season.
Unless Bruno was injured all season, then we might be fucked. But no, the thing, anybody hitting the panic button like it's a relegation season next season needs to just give their heads a wobble.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Christ, yes, it's been a bad season, but it ain't that bad. I genuinely think this team now could reach potentially top 9 as it is. That's what
As
I
it
think.
is. So look at
As it is.
losing Gordon and losing Tino.
Yeah, we still could
Losing-
do that, yeah. Because
I
you've
still
got
think-
Harvey Barnes who can play on the left, and then you've got Lewis Miley who is showing that he actually can fit into a right back role very,
Yeah.
very well. So our squad right now should easily finish mid-table between 9th and 12th.
Miley's just signed another contract, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Lewis Miley, yeah, he signed till 2033, I think it was.
32, I think, 32,
32,
33.
yeah.
Roundabout. But yeah, I think this team's a 9th to 12th team. If you
9th to 12th.
lose Gordon, lose Tonali or Tino.
Do you think Tonali's head's been turned as well? Like,
I don't think tonight's head's been turned, but we know that his agent has said that his missus is homesick, and she wants to go back to Italy. He's not going to another Premier League club.
Yeah,
to be honest,
that doesn't solve the issue.
I think it'd be a great signing for Como and their Champions League. What do you call it? Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to Como. It is beautiful there, right? Maybe I should send Tonali's missus an Instagram message. Hey, have you seen this massive £30 million mansion in Como? Just on the lake, comes with his own boat and that.
Here's a question for you guys. I know you said like we're going to sign 5 or 6. Are you rostering in any losses though to your team? Because not everybody's going to stay.
Two of our players will want to go to the Champions League. 2 of our players as agents will be, right, let's just say you're on 80 grand a week at Sunderland. Champions League Club A is willing to pay you 150 grand over a 4-year contract, right? It's a no-brainer, really, right? It's a no-brainer. If you've done 1 season at Sunderland and you're going to go from 80 to 150, right? Kieran Louis-Dreyfus, he is a businessman. You know, one thing Sunderland fans aren't talking about, right? But spoke to one of my very business-minded nephews, and he said, perfect time for Kirill to sell. Says millionaires and billionaires buy assets to increase the value and then sell them, right? He says, now that you're in Europe, you've had a couple of stadium redevelopments internally, externally. They've got the Regis Le Bridge, right? The squad value was up from what they've paid for it. All the hospitality sold out for next year. In the Europa League, season tickets are sold out for next year. My nephew says, if it was me, I'd be telling my financiers to find us a buyer.
Jeez.
That's a discussion I had with a lot of fans. over
hell.
the last previous 2 to 3 years, wondering which way that we were going to be going. And it was something that I actually said on a show I did live, or on a vlog I did at the time. And I said, once he makes this ground sustainable, once he makes this club sustainable and starts to get interest in it, it's probably the sound time for him to sell it up. We all said we were wanting not Kerry Lewis Dreyfus out, but certainly
It was Speakman, man.
Speakman. Yeah,
It
there
was
that
it was Speakman who
carry
wanted
on,
to
right? But we were all saying this is probably a time. But Malta, this is those years back in. This is those years back in AFL 1, and the years we were struggling and suffering, right? And we just kept going, game after game, thick after
Rich,
thick, you know.
Rich, you know what it is? We have an emotional attachment, right?
That's the big
We've
thing.
got an emotional attachment.
Right, I put a post
Millionaires
up.
and billionaires have zero attachment to
Yeah,
any
yeah.
asset they own.
I put a post up just a few hours ago. I can't remember where. It was on one of my groups that I'm actually on my social media. Amazed at the amount of grown men around me were crying their eyeballs out yesterday.
That's loads, wasn't there? I seen.
Do you know what it is? I'll tell you
You know
this.
what it is? I'll
There
tell you
wasn't a
another one.
dry eye in the house
I
in the
was
north
amongst them.
stand where I sit, right? Honestly,
It was the same in mine and all, but for different reasons.
right? For fans, unfortunately, Scotty, right? You know, you didn't see us crying on Netflix this time because I'm sure by that point you would have switched the telly off, the radio off, and went in the backyard with a newspaper or something to
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
away from all the negativity. But while we were enjoying, those were tears of joy,
They
right?
were, yeah.
It was tears of joy. But we've got to now think of it as a businessman, Satori, Kirill, right, are going to get 10, 20 times of what they've paid and put in for the club, right? So, hey, if we hear in the next 2 or 3 weeks, because if they were going to sell the club, it would have to be a very quick turnaround time.
But it's not going to be a quick
before the World
turnaround,
Cup.
Malta, mate. It wouldn't be a
Pardon?
quick turnaround, mate.
No, the club's not that
Mate,
easy
wouldn't
these
be.
days.
It wouldn't be
mate,
at all.
It
And
would
hey-
not be. If you think, mate, you're a businessman, you should know that it ain't going to be a quick turnaround, mate, to sell your club. If you're talking about selling your club on the horizon of a Europa League campaign, mate, it's the last thing you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is the last thing you guys want. That would be horrific for you. You
No,
need
but
you
again,
need your owners where they are now.
Scotty, businessmen thinking a different, millionaires and billionaires thinking a different way to regular businessmen.
Totally
I agree.
with you.
Absolutely agree.
But
You don't want that to happen.
I'm emotionally attached to my business, right? You know, I'm emotionally attached to my business, right? But these guys, you know, this might just be his stepping stone before he goes and buys another club, you know, or decides to, you know, go in with his mother on Marseille, you know.
That I'd really throw
That's
caution.
worrying, isn't it? That's worrying. If your
wanted to
owner's
happen.
thinking about
I
wanted
would
to
throw
happen.
caution to the wind with that one, my Malta, mate. That is
No, do you want it to happen? Trust us. I want Kirill to be there. I want Gasolfi to be there. I want all of the, you know, the 5 main men at Sunderland, right? Which is Kirill, Satori, Gasolfi, Regis Labrise, and Xhaka to be there for some good periods of some stability. You know, I sent Regis a message today saying, I'd love it if you were here for 10 years like Pep, right? You know, because what he's done for us, no manager has ever done in Sunderland's history, is because Europe wasn't around when we won our 6 league titles and we had all those second place finishes, right?
So what would happen if you got new owners in like you wanted and they went, right, we don't want Regis Labrise gone. We want somebody better. Because that's what potentially could happen.
No, again,
I think in all honesty, I think what we've got to look at is the fact that does the owner sort of now having himself an attachment to the club that we do as fans, where it gets under your skin, into your blood, and perhaps it
It's-
can be part and parcel of it?
You,
Or
know
would
what
you
it is?
disagree with
It's
that?
not
Malta?
like Niall Quinn. He's not like Niall Quinn, right? Where
Aye.
we got into his blood, right? We got under his skin. He's not
We
like
did.
Super Kev, Bowley, Benno, right? All these players we've got under his skin. Even Reedy, we got under Reedy's skin as well, right?
Yeah.
You know,
He's been at the ground today.
oh yeah, he played on the pitch today.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was.
Him, Gasolfi, what do you call it, Satori, all played, right? But I think that's just something that, if it comes around publicly, you heard it here first, that it's, you know, it's something that could be happening. And it might be that they say, okay, you know, because again, you've got this, I mean, the fit proper owners test, anybody could do it. I'm sure this bloody bottle of Pepsi Max could probably pass it with the right brown envelope to the FA nowadays, right?
We tried that.
took us what, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
No,
So, yeah.
but that was after the brown envelope and the threat to the British government from your owner that we're going to buy our military equipment from the United States instead of Britain, instead of from BE. Let's be honest about that, lads, right? You know,
Nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with piracy.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and also
it's all
the £1 billion payment to BE Sports for piracy as well.
Piracy. That was the issue.
But anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen. We're on a massive high. Next season, target for next season for me is to qualify out of the Europa League group stage, which means we only need to finish in the 20 up to 24th, right? And if you look at the sides in the Europa League and in the Conference League, right, that is definitely an attainable thing, right? Increase the squad. We need to any players which, you know, like we've got to take that 20 million option for Gertruda. Gertruda's been great. He was great.
Ah, you know, he's not put a foot wrong,
Right,
has he?
I had a massive discussion yesterday, right? I've been wanting to pin Gertruda down.
I've been saying it all season.
We have been, yeah. I don't know whether it was in something in his loan contract that prevented us from playing him as much as what it was.
No.
But I'm telling you now, this lad has got to be signed down. He's what I call an absolute brick shit house in the back. Like Robbie is the fucking shit brick house at front, right? The other side of the coin is get him pinned down, right? And there's so much talk, and sometimes I tire of hearing it. We've got to sign strikers. Football teams have got to sign strikers who are capable 15, 20 goals a season. That was something 25 and 30 years ago, right? It just doesn't happen anymore now. You're not going to sign a single
from
striker
Erling
who's going to get you
Haaland.
25 goals. However, I think that the way that the model has been built over the short period that we've had, it defines that we've got goals that can come from most positions on the pitch.
Yeah, we can. I mean, look who scored for us yesterday.
Look, exactly. A
Right
defender
back, who has now been converted into a right winger.
A defender who was playing out on the wing.
Who was playing in the Irish League
Yes, right?
and then played for us in
if
League
you
One.
can get 4, 5, 6 goals across those players over the whole of the field, that deals with one striker at 20 goals a season.
But you know the other thing as well. You know why? I mean, I'd love to see us sign Dyson Maida from Celtic, right? Because he can play on the wing and he can play up front, right?
Right.
And we could get him for about £25 million. He had a transfer agreed with Wolfsburg for 25 million last summer, but Celtic couldn't get their replacement player in for the money or the wages or whatever. So he was refused his transfer, right? But he won Celtic the league and the Scottish Cup in those last 9 games. 7 games he scored 9 goals and he won them the league, right? He's fast. like he's the fastest player in Scotland by a mile, by a country mile, right? And defenders hate playing against him. He can play on the wing and he can play up front. He plays up front for Japan. He plays up front for Celtic. And then if they bring on Tunetki or whatever he's called, the ex-Leicester forward, right? And then he goes out on the wing and he still scores goals from the wing, right? He's got a good pass on him. He's got an engine on him, like Duracell battery, right? I'd love to see Sunderland sign him. It would fit into having our two squad system. The other thing as well is we've got Brobby. Brobby's great, but we're only an injury on the opening day or the first day after the transfer window ends.
Away from.
What happens if he, when does the transfer window close? 1st of September.
September, yeah.
Right.
Something
the first
like
game after the transfer window closes, right? He gets a cruciate injury and he's out for 6 months.
It's all ifs and buts, though, isn't it? Right,
I
guys,
know,
I've got to go.
Squad, we've got to keep
Baz,
it.
you're right. It's
All right,
ifs and
Baz,
buts,
you got to
mate.
head off, have you, mate? Well, cheers, mate, for popping in. I know you were stuck for time.
See you, Baz.
See you,
Catch
Baz.
you all later.
I'll catch up with
Love
you
it.
next time you're on. Okay, mate. You look after yourself.
Sounds good. Keep crabbing.
Before you go, Baz, how's the charity football match shaping up?
Very well.
Yeah?
Very, very well, I think. 9th of August, Newcastle Benfield Football Club. We've got 2, I would say, big names Newcastle-wise, and we're trying to get a couple of Sunderland ones. All to be confirmed. I'm having a meeting with everybody on Wednesday, and we'll try and release a proper poster out. And free face painting, free inflatables, the full lot. There's a bar there. There's everything. Get yourselves down on the 9th of August. Save it in your diary. Can't say who's playing yet, but I can. Hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice one, Baz. Nice one.
It's going to be interesting.
Yes,
Right,
Baz.
catch you later, guys. Thanks
Cheers,
as
mate.
always.
Right, Baz, mate.
Cheers, Baz. All the best, mate.
Thank God he's gone. God, yeah, friggin' hell. Yeah. It's just been a mental season and absolutely crazy. It's just as you think Sunderland can't top it off. It's like, Ballard goal against Coventry, that'll never be beaten, and then we're going to do the business at Wembley. That'll never be beaten. We're surviving the Premier League. That'll never be beaten. We're in Europe, and I mean, we just keep raising the bar and jumping over it, don't we?
Yeah.
It's just mad what this team's doing.
This is all to do with the mentality of the squad. Like, I remember Reedy's 2 seasons when we finished 7th, right? We were second at Christmas in the first season.
I
Right?
remember that,
We
Baz.
did
Baz.
go top for a few minutes. But what happened is we failed to strengthen the January window. And we bought Cabby's favourite player, Sean Cunnington, when we should have bought a couple of other players, and we dropped off. And then we dropped off. And we were terrible after Christmas. Honestly, we were like bloody Newcastle when they had that, fall away after being 11, 12 points clear. We were rubbish. We couldn't get a win for love nor money. We couldn't string passes together. I think the lads were too much out on the piss with Reedy, right? But this side, they're professional. They are consumer professionals, right? Granit Xhaka leads that squad. At the Everton game, pre-match, he said, we are going to qualify for Europe. We're going to win today and we're going to qualify for Europe, right? And then the Player Awards ceremony last Wednesday, when the Conference League final was on, he said, as part of his speech, just shout out to Kirill, if we qualify for Europe, we want a double bonus. I'm sure those lads got that double bonus today, right? Because obviously they would have been on a qualification bonus. I mean, there was something like the Chelsea match alone for Sunderland was worth £10 million. That was a big game that's just in Premier League. What do you call it? Premier League prize money. That's nothing to do with the Europa League money that we're going to get. We're going to get guaranteed money for qualifying. We're going to get 330,000 for a win. £2 million match day revenue, a whole new, level of sponsors will now, think that, right, well, Sunderland, from just being in the Premier League, which is obviously the biggest league in the world, it's the most televised, it's seen everywhere, right? But then with additional exposure of being in the Europa League, right? Then we can charge sponsors more. We can charge more for hospitality. We can say, "Aye, lads, you know what it is? That 30 grand box is now going to be 50 grand." The sponsors aren't going to say, "Oh, we're not going to be able to pay that." They're going to say, "Here, take our money, lads. Take our money." Right? So that'll help us get players. But and Luke O'Nien as well. I've got to give it up for Luke O'Nien, who has played for Sunderland in League One, in the Championship, in the Premier League, and now he's going to be playing in Europe, right? And he's also played in the Papa Johns, and he's played in the FA Cup and the League Cup. So he'll be him and Trey Hume and Ballard will be the first players to ever represent Sunderland in 7 tournaments in 7 different competitions in our
That's
history, which is like it is mad as
Three,
well.
Three-star Red says Sunderland by
quality-
getting European football will also join the League Cup in later rounds. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. We do.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
and whereas Newcastle will join it in the first round, I think.
I'm quite happy with that, Malta, mate. Hey,
You're gonna win it again, Scotty. Yeah, you're gonna win it again.
Don't want it, mate. Don't want it. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Do you think Eddie Howe's gonna put out weakened sides in the FA Cup and the League Cup and concentrate on the league and getting back into the Champions League?
I think he's got to learn from his mistakes. I think he may look at one of them and go, I want the FA Cup or I want to have a good run there. But he's going to want to make sure we climb that league next year and we have a good year. It's not going to be just climbing the league. He's going to want to look good doing it. That's the thing. He's going to want his intensity back. He's going to want his identity back. He's going to want to have a lot of things that was there when he first came back.
You know what Newcastle used to do? They used to they were very similar. Ange's Celtic sides. They would overpower you, properly overpower you. It didn't matter who it was. They'd just go boom, 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 and they would get that goal and they would get the second goal.
Do you know what it was? You did what we did when Eddie first came this season. You played decent football, but you were also very street smart on the field. We lost some of that. Now, what you guys need to retain that. I think what happens is, mate, over time, when you get better players in, you don't want to play that brute force football and be the shithouse that,
God, that's where I agree with you.
You lose identity. And honestly, when you get your new players in who will possibly be better than what you've got, they might not have that identity and that fight for the club that the players that you've already got at your club. So
you know what will happen to them? Until they tour the Regis Lebris and Granit Xhaka line, they'll be on the bench, just like Habib Diarra. And Gertruda, whatever reason.
I agree with you.
Were on the bench, right? They weren't getting starts unless they were showing in training, right? And then, Gertruda, I don't know why, but in the games where he started O'Nien and he didn't start Gertruda, and we won those games, and I've just said, right, Regis, obviously you've done a checkmate on me, son, because I would have started Gertruda, but you started O'Nien and we won 1-0 to you, and then you started Hume instead of Gertruda, and we won 2-0 to you.
I'll hang it out.
That's what's happened. That's what's happened all the time. I think the mentality, and I was saying about Luke O'Nien, when the players are joining the club, Luke O'Nien, who was still the club captain as such, right? He'll be introducing the players, and they'll all be getting the talk from Granit Xhaka that this is how we play. We've got an identity. We've got a cohesion. In the words of Regis Lebris, you need to remain connected with the squad you've got to put the hours in on the training ground, and you do well, you will get your opportunity. They will now see that we're playing in 4 competitions. So that's why we do need to increase our squad size. And players like Isidore, players like Riggy, I mean, Riggy in the summer,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
hoping he gets Ballard's personal trainer, who Ballard had last year, right? And he puts on some weight and he puts on some muscle and strengthen. And I think Riggs going to be a player and a half for us next season. You know, he's showed what he can do. And next season he'll get more games in the cup matches, and he'll increase and he'll get better and better.
Malta,
And
what did you think of Angulo yesterday? I said there was a lot of people on my chat when I did the live stream was saying, you know, how ball greedy he is. What did you make of him? Because he got subbed, didn't he?
Do you know sometimes players need to be ball greedy? Do you know that? Sometimes players, like, can you remember when Mugheli took that shot and scored and we won the game?
See you later,
Right?
Gary, mate. Cheers for popping in.
And we need players sometimes to be a little bit selfish, because they know that, well, I can beat that guy. And his shot, it was a good save from Chelsea, right? And again, on the pitch, Regis Debris says he's got another manager on the pitch with Xhaka, right? And don't think for 1 minute that Xhaka won't be saying to Regis, right, I want him off. He's not contributing, or he's not doing it, whatever it is, right? And on the 60th minute, Regis made his switches, right? But Angulo, he's just a young lad.
Yeah.
This is his first season. He joined in the January transfer window. He's going to be a player for us as well. You know what I like, because sometimes you need that raw energy, right?
Someone who's got the guts to take it on.
Yeah. And you get
this-
that from young lads.
We've got this Malta in other players as well, right? I think that it's a good season for him for next season, as I do see with Adingra when he eventually comes
Yeah.
back, as I definitely see with Diarra.
I think Jar will definitely come good. I mean, he's still young.
I've seen him, but there's another one, and I cannot remember his bloody name now. These are going to be at least 3 to 4 players that we've got ready to take on the season next season that will allow them to develop on further. And this is where the recruitment in the club just excels itself. They will bring in people probably of the same kind of grade, same kind of ilk, and bring them in with the point of developing them on to bring them up to the caliber of player that they're going to be expected to play to. However, it's going to be a Premiership League. On top of that, we've got Europa to play, right? Fair well enough. The other side of the coin is, with that, I believe that so far we've got the basis of almost 2 squads. But then we've got problems with injuries, sending offs, yellow cards, red cards, and one thing or another.
Was it?
And there's where I think one of the problems may lie if we're playing so many games when it comes into next season. And I don't want a situation where we end up in the Newcastle situation where we can't spend money for so many windows because
we'll never get that. We'll never get that, Rich.
You don't think so?
No. Again, we are doing things in a different way, right?
Yeah.
We are being built. It's not bought. We're following the built model over a period of seasons.
The only thing is, though, Mulder,
not the bought.
When you start, you're going to spend more on better players, mate. So you're going to eat up
your
CSR quicker. You're going to eat up money quicker. The worrying thing, what you've got to do is, you've got to remember that is this a flash in the pan, or is it going to be something that you're going to regularly do? Because players will look at that and go, hold on a minute here, what's the likeliness of Sunderland going and getting Europe again? or Champions League again. You've got to remember, mate, and I'm not dissing Sunderland.
Don't say Champions League again, man. You know what it is? I'm just going to enjoy the Europa League.
Yeah, I'm not dissing yous, but you've got to remember the likes of everybody else is going to improve as well. Spurs might not be in the same place. Brentford's going to improve. Chelsea's going to improve.
Every team in the Premier League will improve.
I think every team in the Premier League will improve. But it reinforces my thought that if we fall, Scott, at the first hurdle,
yeah,
I'm not going to be hurt. I'm honest. I'm telling you now. I'm not going to be hurt.
I don't think he's a fall at the first hurdle.
I remember Sporting Lisbon kicking us out of Europe, and at 53 years ago, I was 13-year-old, and I thought, well, hey ho, back to Roker Park next week, but that's what you think as a 13-year-old. In this particular day and age, in account of the modern game and the development and how we've come through the system, perhaps as quickly as what we have done, I don't want that to impede us, say, into the European competitions. But if we do fail at the first attempt, I will not be upset. I want to make sure we can consolidate ourselves to become a Premier League side for 26-27 and then 27 going forward.
This is your main thing. This is your main issue. You've got to make sure you survive next year.
Yeah.
No matter what else, what else happens, you've got to survive.
No. And you know what it is? The league comes first. The league is the bread and butter. Kirill knows that. Florence Gossoff knows that.
The only problem is, though, mate, your players, and I don't care what anybody says, we've said this all season, it's our bread and butter. Mate, some of your players don't turn up for your bread and butter when you're in Europe.
No. Look at the thing is, our players are different. Do you know the difference?
Mate, mentality changes, mate, Malta. No, it changes, mate. They're not the human, mate. You're acting like they're going to be absolutely.
Right. So mate. Did you not see what happened to Adingra and Masuaku?
But do you think better players are going to take his shite? Do you think they're going to go out on a minute?
It's not really just the Greaser shite. It's Granit Xhaka.
But do you think some players are going to take his shite on the field, mate? They're going to go out on a minute. I'm worth more than you. Sod off.
It's got nothing to do with worth more than you.
It's what's going to happen, mate. Your better players are going to go fuck off. Who are you?
And you know what'll happen? They'll be shipped out just like those two players were.
I used to do a lot of media work, and I still do a lot of media work within my own supporters branch, and we have a red and white night once a year. And over many years ago, I've had red and white nights with Niall Quinn, Kevin Phillips, but I remember one about 10-12 years ago that I did with Peter Reid, right? And it was on exactly about what you're on about, Scott. You would get a player come knocking at the door and saying, I want a wage, I want an increase, right? And the one thing that they always used to say, and Peter Reid said this to my face when I covered the night, have you been nobbled? Other clubs would be nobbling players behind the scenes, offering more if they want to come in.
Look at what just happened to Isak. Look what happened to Isak. Isak got tapped up, mate. They won't admit it.
That's what he said it was.
They tapped him up.
Yeah.
But, mate, Gordon's been tapped up. If you think for 1 second, all your players are going to sit there and go, yeah, this is fantastic, great. Mate, there's probably some of them now going...
Scotty, do you know the difference is? Do you know the difference is? We understand our position in the game. We're just a stepping stone. We're just a stepping stone club, right?
So
you see, you are a destination club, right?
Why would you want to be a stepping stone, mate?
No. Right now we're a stepping stone club. We understand that. That is the model. That is the Sunderland model, right? Kirill Dreyfus did an interview earlier on in the season where he said his aim this season was to finish 10th. He did that on Sky. It was on the Monday night game. Can you remember, lads? Right?
I remember
He did
something
that.
about him saying he was aiming for
I
10.
think the
Right? He
biggest.
said he was aiming for 10th, right? Now, the thing is, right, when Xhaka signed for Sunderland, he signed to get into Europe. That was it. He said
How old's he now, mate?
he's 34,
He's
right?
34-year-old now, right?
34 years old, right?
Is he going to
And-
be able to do it week in, week out as well? Do
Well,
you
he's
think?
just
Do you
been
think?
called up for the World Cup, hasn't he, as well?
He's
Do you think
the
he's got it
captain
in?
of
His,
Switzerland.
I haven't watched him enough. Do you think he's got it in his legs to play Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday?
No,
Do you know what it is? He has.
That's what would worry me, because Richard,
Right,
if
yeah.
he's not on the field, his voice isn't there.
the trouble is,
You know
if he's
Cristiano
not on the
Ronaldo?
field, his leadership's not there, right, Scott?
100%.
And when you see
Right.
him on the field, commanding his area and telling everybody where they've got to be, that's the experience.
That's
That's
why
what
we
we've lost.
need to get another player, virtually
Like
like
him.
another Granit Xhaka, because when he is
Now-
injured, we do
now,
need
Cabby.
that other leader.
Right?
Good
Stu,
luck
where you
finding
gonna-
him, mate.
I know,
Right.
I know, I
Where are you
know.
going to find another Granit Xhaka?
I know. You can't exactly go down Jackie White's and say, "Oh, I'll have one of them." You cannot. I know.
I mean, we've lost trips. Look,
No,
we've
listen,
lost Kevin
I've-
Trippier.
Stu,
He's
I've
our
got-
Granit Xhaka.
I've got to pop up to Sunderland tomorrow. I'll pop into Jackie White's if you like.
Right. So let us just say, right now, Xhaka, he will, he might have his successor in the building already from a captain perspective. Now, I think Ballard, right, could be the next Sunderland captain, right? Or it could be Nordy McGeely or Alderete, right? They have all leadership qualities. Trey Hume, he actually has taken the what do you call it, when he was injured. Trey Hume's been our captain and Ballard's been our captain. Both and O'Nine's been the captain, obviously, right? Trey Hume's international captain for Northern Ireland, or
Yeah.
Ballard. I don't know which one of them is the permanent one, but one of them is the permanent captain, right? And we've got to, as Sunderland fans, we've got to just trust the process, right? For us, next season, again, if we finish top 10, that'll be amazing for us, right? That, I think now, will become Kieran Lewis-Dreyfus's minimal. He'll say, I want 10th place next season, right? And the players coming in, they'll be the new players coming in will be saying, right, we're in the Europa League, and we also need to get top 10 finish in the league. That might be what they're saying publicly. Privately, behind the scenes, all the way, it has been getting into Europe. That's why Xhaka signed, McGeely signed, Diarra said, when you played your first Champions League game,
Yeah.
and when we played yous, Sunderland had more players with more Champions League appearances than Newcastle did.
Are they all going to be there though, mate?
Are they all going to be there? No, we've got to look at a 3-year cycle. We're in year one of a 3-year cycle, right? Granit Xhaka has got next season, right? And then he's doing his coaching badges, right? He's here for the project.
I think
for
you're
the
right.
project.
I think you're
That's
dead right
what
there,
he said.
Mulder. He's here
He
for
said
the
he signed
project.
for the project.
He's here for the project. He's here for what the plan is probably going forward in the next 5 or so years. And I'm going to chuck another name at the equation there as well, and that'll be Luke O'Nien. As a young man, right? What he still is, Mr. Sunderland. He's coming up to nearly 10 years with the club now.
8 years.
And I can see in years to come, he can take over the kind of ambassadorial role that Kevin Ball took over. As an absolute
to be honest,
complete hero within the club.
He is. You know what he is? He is Mr. Sunderland. Sunderland is his home now, right? He signed for us 8 years ago. Drove his was it an Astra? It's not like now. Like all these players came to Sunderland in a private jet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in a fully pimped out Mercedes Viano, right, or a Range Rover Sport or something, right? You know, they all flew over with their families in private jets. He drove up himself, right, to Sunderland, in his own motor,
Mhm.
and it wasn't like a Range Rover or a Bentley. It was just an old motor from Wycombe Wanderers.
I still remember the days at Roker Park. Alex Ray, and David Kelly, and I mean Alex. Funny enough, I was only in conversation with Alex a few weeks ago, and a couple of other players anyway. They used to drive up, and they had Astras, Ford Escorts, no flash, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from the fact that maybe Dickie Ord had a sponsored car, and it was given to him, and it was livered down the side as a sponsored car. I think it was a Honda or something like that. But there were no flash.
And there was a couple of them had Citroens from obviously the Roker Park days, Town Centre Citroen.
Yeah, Town Centre Citroen was straight over the park from Roker Park. That's right, aye.
So I think next season, I'm excited. I'm really excited, right, for next season. Cabby, I'm expecting a live watch along for the Europa League draw. Just make sure 28th of August, my wife's birthday, you get that in the diary.
Wonder what time that is on. Wonder what time it's on.
What do you call it? Couple of years ago,
Normally dinner time ish.
a couple of years ago, one of the lads from, well, the guy who runs the What the Fork podcast, Graham Fork, he was actually at the draw, and he did the draw because he's also he's a proper journalist, works for the Scotsman, and he's going to try and get on the draw again this year, but you know, depends. But David Graham in the chat, Jared Bourne from West Ham and Liverpool. Is there any West Ham players, lads, that you have thought that would be good Sunderland signings? Or Newcastle signings, Scotty?
I tell you who I would look at. That's Somerville.
Oh, he's a good player. Like, he had a good
he's
player.
like-
He had good against us.
I'd look at Somerville. He was the livest player against us. He looked
He
really
was probably
good.
the best player against us as well.
Not Jimmy, I hope.
He was. Somerville was very good. But do you know what it is? There isn't many of them that I would probably look at. Jared Bowen, he can go to Liverpool for me. I think that's another terrible signing for them. I think that's just another, Christ, we need to save something here signing.
He must be a canny edge born as well, though.
He's got to be. He's been around. He seems to have been around forever. I think we need to dip into the Europe market, the European market. That's where we need to look.
Well, that's where we're going to be looking, because that's Florence Gossolfi's speciality is Europe.
The English lads now, it's getting ridiculous because there's an English price, isn't there? You know, there's a tax on them.
Yeah.
You're looking at Trafford, 40 million.
Not worth it.
Well, this is it. I don't think he's worth 40 million. I'd probably give you 30 to maybe 20, 28. I'd look into the European market if it was me. We're looking at some tasty French lads, apparently, as keepers anyway.
Yes.
I don't know where we are.
Okay, Pet.
We'll see. I don't want to say anything about signings because I don't want to shoot us in the foot with it. I don't want to jinx it. I do not. I genuinely don't know where we're at the minute. And we just need to let the dust settle because it's going to take a few days. I mean, I've seen more Sunderland shirts out in friggin' Merton than I've ever seen in my life. Do you know what it is? Do you know what gets me? You get a bit of friggin' success and then you all come out the bloody woodwork. It's like, where have you been for 7 years? I haven't seen you.
Well, excuse me, Scott, but that's your problem for living in Merton, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is, mate. You're bloody damn right. But honest to God, mate, I drove down to bloody Dalton Park yesterday, right? Never seen one in my life. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought, shit, they're breeding by the minute, are you? There was loads of you buggers out. I was thinking, where the friggin' hell you are? Where have you all been?
I went down to Asda in Bolden, and I obviously had my Sunderland top on, right? And I'm not joking. Like every third person had a Sunderland top on, and there was like one guy, Mag, right, with his Newcastle top from a few seasons ago, and he was minding the gap between himself and the other Sunderland fans because he just didn't want to even get in a conversation. And I didn't say nothing. I was just dead classy. I just looked at him and I just went like this.
I just, do you know what it is? We're going to have to take it on. We need some tips from you guys, actually. What's it like to be in the shadow? We need to know how to deal with
You've
it.
always been in our shadow, though. We've got 6 league titles.
No.
You've always been in our shadow.
No,
Scotty,
no,
you've always
mate,
been in our shadow.
Mate, no, mate.
Yeah,
What's
you
it
have.
like?
I mean,
I don't.
to me, you've always been in our shadow because 6 league titles trumps 4 league titles. Unfortunately, club competitions, you've only got to win 7 games to win a cup competition. You've got to win 38 games to win the league.
Mate, you've been gone for God knows how long.
38 games to win the league.
You've
and
been
38
gone
games.
for how long? You've
Over
just come
38
back.
games, we finished above yous. And actually, I've got to say, thanks to all the Geordies for those 6 easy points, because that's what got us into Europe. It was just the gift.
I mean, I
from
wouldn't
our
say they were
neighbours
easy.
up
I
the
mean, I
road.
wouldn't say they were easy points. You
Of
played
course they
well.
were easy. Voldemort
You-
gave us that. Voldemort thought,
I
"You know what?
mean,
I hate these lot. I'm going to let Sunderland win the game."
Walter Mackem.
I tell you
Aye.
what it is, mind. You might reap what you sow next season, mate, because you're going to find out.
No, we want to find out. You know what it is? We want to be in that position to find out because
It's
we've
not
never
nice.
ever been there.
It's bloody.
Scott, that's exactly my argument as well.
It's
I
a.
don't want to go down the route of what you would call second season syndrome.
I'm telling you now, right? And I don't know whether it will happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. Yous could be in for a frigging rough season next year.
Exactly.
And it ain't. When the
You
defeats,
know what it is?
when the
After
defeats start
after the
coming
season
in,
we've had this year and the signings, I've got no worries about a relegation at all.
I'm not saying relegation, mate. I'm saying a poor season like us.
Or a tough
That-
season.
A bloody. And the thing is, mate, when you start that road of defeats,
So,
it's
Scotty,
hard
what
to-
was your
it's
final position? 12th.
12.
I'll take 12th next season. I'll take 12th next season. I'll take it right now.
And I think that's sensible. I think
I'll
that's
take
very.
12th
I think
right
that's
now.
very sensible. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to fight for it, mate, because we've had to fight
Well,
tooth
you've
and
got
nail
to
for
improve.
it.
You've got to improve. I say it. I keep telling everybody the reason why 3 English sides have got to 3 European finals, won one, will win another one, and may even beat PSG. But I think PSG, or to be honest, PSG are beautiful to watch. They play some great football, and they've actually shedded the, when they had all of the Galacticos,
Mhm.
they actually play as a proper team. Really, really
Can't
good
beat
side to
Newcastle,
watch.
though.
Pardon?
You can't beat Newcastle,
Who won the Champions League last season?
PSG, but they still didn't
All
beat
right.
us.
I'm sorry. I thought maybe Newcastle might have won it. I'd missed
And
something.
They
I've been
still
lost in a
didn't beat.
time warp on that.
They still haven't beat us, mate.
It's okay. They won they won it though, didn't they?
They still
That's
haven't
all
beat
right.
Newcastle. We're the only English team they haven't beat.
It's okay. It's going to be years before you have to play them again, man.
Nah,
But anyway, 12th next season for us, right? Qualify out of the Europa League group phase into the league phase, right? And you know what it is? It is because as Sunderland fans, we are building slowly. We're going to stay within our PSR headroom, right? Because even though, what do you call it? Kirill's got 2 billion quid in the bank plus interest, right? We don't even know how much money bloody what's the other guy called again? The Uruguayan guy?
No, Tory.
How much money? What? Satori. We don't even know
Sartori.
how much money Satori's got access to, right? But his wife is a multi-billionaire as well, right? They've got money if they want to spend it, but they're not looking to spend it. They're looking to have a sustainable model eventually bring the club into profit, right? And sell it as a going concern. That's what they are as businessmen. If we can really get under Kirill's skin and he stays here for the long term, that's great. But
Malta,
I don't
you
think that's his
see,
long term plan.
Malta, you seem very, very wanting to push your ownership out, mate. What's the crack there?
No, I don't. But I know how businessmen work.
I get it, but mate, like whoa, these guys have give you something you've never had before,
Exactly.
and then
I want to give them
you're
the
talking
freedom of
about
the
wanting
city,
them
man.
out.
I
Got
don't.
the other
I
side
want
of
to
the
give them
point.
the freedom
The
of
other,
the
side,
city.
another side of the argument, Scott, is the fact that Sartori was absent for so many seasons after season after season because he was too busy playing
President.
politics down in South America where he belonged.
He was running for president.
Yeah,
Who
he played all
where
of
do you
that.
think?
Our joint owner, Juan Sartori, went for the Uruguayan president election.
Yeah.
Do you think you could? I mean, I genuinely do think one day you will get bought out. I think it will be big, and I've said this for years. I think it will be big because I think somebody will eventually see what Piff's done at Newcastle and go, "I want a piece of the pie. Let's go and buy Sunderland."
I have
I
reached out to
don't.
the Norwegian investment fund and the Kuwaiti investment funds, which both dwarf PIF. And I've said to them, you know what? You really need a football club.
I mean, Piff's $1 trillion company, mate.
Oh,
They're a
do you know the
they're $1
Norwegian
trillion.
investment fund? Do you know the Norwegian? The Norwegian
I've never
investment
looked
fund?
into them.
It dwarfs PIF. So does Kuwait. These were set up years before the Saudi one, right? And if you know how like stocks and shares and stuff work and investment funds work, right? They compound every year. They compound and grow every year. Now you know Norway. All of their oil profits go into their public investment fund, right?
Do you
They're
think they'll
not
buy?
like, pardon?
Do you think they'll
Will they
buy?
buy? I think Kuwait might be interested because they want to diversify. They're a very small country and they've got holdings just like PIF have across the world, right? And again, it just depends on how they feel as like, you know, and because they have looked at some football clubs in Europe and Milan got bought because they were looking at AC Milan and then were Milan bought by a Chinese company?
I mean, Amanda Davies is looking for one, but she'll not come for Sunderland.
No. Amanda Staveley, she wants Spurs. I don't think Spurs will ever sell.
I agree. She may want Spurs.
Of course she wants Spurs because she wants Spurs because isn't she a Spurs fan?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who she supports.
I think she is a Spurs fan. I mean, Newcastle's obviously her second club now, right? But I'm sure she wants Spurs, and she knows the people to fund the purchase. The thing is, though, the Spurs owners, they never ever need to sell. They don't need to sell. You know, they've got billions in offshore accounts, and I mean they're located offshore anyway.
Yeah.
So they don't need to sell because the owner of Spurs loves Spurs.
I just think you need to be careful what you wish for with your ownership, mate.
Oh,
I really
I'm not
do.
wishing anything on a change of ownership. What I'd like to see them do, if they want to, is bring in another partner, right? Instead of selling it.
That would be a better.
That's
That
what
would
I'd
be a
like to
better
see.
way to do it.
No, that's what I'd like to see, right? Because I've seen how other clubs have like went through a tumultuous buyout. Because you know, once you own a certain amount of shares, right, then you have to actually. But that's only on a PLC. Like Arsenal were a PLC, and then eventually when Kroenke bought out lady, I forget her name now, the Indian one whose husband died, and he left him his shares. And then it triggered it, right? A mandatory, right? Now you've got to offer all the shareholders, right? But in a limited company, in a privately limited company, which is not traded on the stock exchange, which Sunderland aren't, they're Sunderland Football Club Limited, you can have whatever shareholding you want, and there's never any trigger. It's only on PLCs. I don't ever want to see us go down a PLC route, because PLCs run boards on accountants, not on bloody football, right? I'd rather see him, if he wants to, because he's not dipped into his fund at all. His brother is there. His brother's got the same amount of money as him, right? Bring
The
your
thing is
brother
that
in.
it's all you CSR though, mate. You can't. It's what you earn in your
No,
sponsors and
exactly.
everything. You can't just because if
it's-
Newcastle could just go right, we're going to
Oh,
dip into
yeah.
our funds, mate. They could look behind the bloody sofa and buy, we'll have, I don't know,
I'll just buy the
Mbappe, go on.
PSG starting 11.
Yeah, we'll just buy the PSG. I'll just look behind the fridge. There goes the Messi money. Do you know what I mean? But that's the type of thing that these people have got it, but we can't access it. That's
Yeah,
the
no,
difference.
I know, because of the headroom. But the thing is, though, is like, I don't even want us to be doing a stadium expansion, at least for another 3 seasons.
Really, as long as that, Multi, yeah?
Cabby,
Mm-hmm.
we need to establish ourselves in the Premier League. I'm a season ticket holder. I've been a season ticket holder for a long time. Season tickets went up. I don't even know how much it went up to. I just bought my season ticket. I didn't look at the price. I just didn't renew. That was it, right? And 95% of season ticket holders are like me. They will just renew, right? If we stay in the Premier League, they'll renew. Even in the Championship and League One, we still renewed the hardcore, because I was there at Gillingham when we got relegated in bloody 87, 88.
I was
when
at Roker
Richard
Park,
was
yeah.
a younger man,
That was horrendous, that.
right? So, if
You relive it, don't you?
yeah. Now the thing is, though, it's the corporates. It's expansion of the stadium. It's expanding and getting 10,000 extra match day fans. Actually, it doesn't even scratch any surface. It's only additional corporate capacity, and that's where our interim CEO. I don't know if you saw his hour-long podcast on the, what do you call it, Money of Football, or whatever it's called, the Football Finance podcast.
It's
right?
still up there to watch, isn't it? You can still catch up and watch it, yeah.
Yeah. So you can watch that. And he said it's only on corporate is where we can bring in, right? We still sell tickets in corporate for £899 on a match day, right? £899 for a single ticket on a match day in corporate hospitality, right? That's in like 76 yards. Or no, that might be Banks of the Weir, or whatever it is, the Tommy Banks, who was the Michelin chef, but the Tommy Banks in the Stadium Light is not Michelin starred. Now there is a clamour, I think, at every Premier League club, because it used to be fully tax deductible, but again, HMRC have changed the rules on this, but still a lot of it is tax deductible. And so companies, they get their advertising, right? Their product is seen all around the world by 1 billion people a week, right? And they take their potential clients to a Premier League match. Let's just say you've got a client in China or supply in China you want to bring on board, and they're mad Man United fans. You just say, oh yeah, you know what? Why don't we get yous all over, bring your wives and kids, and we'll take you to Sunderland v Man United, because we've got a box at Sunderland. And then it's there where that's where the deal will get done, and that's how corporate hospitality and entertainment works, So if we were to do any expansion, it would be more on the corporate side anyway. That's why for the match going fan, yeah, of course there's demand. There's crazy demand, right? For Sunderland tickets. And the good thing, which is the difference between Sunderland and Newcastle, is and it's the same with Arsenal, and it's the same with Liverpool, and it's the same with Spurs, is they only sell so many season tickets. The rest are going on. The ballot system that they've got in Newcastle is ridiculous. Because I know lads who, used to go to matches, didn't have season tickets, but they only get like 1 or 2 tickets in a ballot now, right?
That needs to be looked at because I only won one
That's
this year.
ridiculous, that, because
I won one all year this year.
Have you got a lot of
you only
corporate,
had 1 ticket.
Scotty, have you?
Yeah, we're increasing them as well, though, mate. I won one all year in the ballot this year.
That's shit, that.
That's
19 games and you won 1 ticket.
£47 for the Magpie membership, and I won 1 ticket, and that was Man United at home.
And does that include Champions League as well and cup matches? Were you in every ballot?
Yes, I was in.
Oh,
I put
so
myself,
then that's a lot more than 19 games then.
I put myself in most of the ballots. Yeah.
So you're probably looking at 30 home games, maybe, including Champions League. League Cup, you got the semi-final.
League Cup, FA Cup. I won 1 ballot all year.
That sounds like a bit of a blinking pyramid scheme to me.
It's a bit of a scam, mate. To be fair, they need to look at.
Wasn't there something like 400,000 people trying to get tickets for the Barcelona match?
But I see the problem is, though, I think what's happening is websites are buying them up and they're reselling them.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the problem you'll come against as well. You're opening up to a whole new world in Europa League. It becomes a shit show for your actual fans.
You can only get tickets for certain Sunderland games if you've got purchase history from the previous year.
Which I like to a certain degree.
So, like for like what would probably call category A, Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, right? Leeds. Those 6 games, you could only buy your ticket if you bought a ticket in the Championship.
Right. I like that and I dislike it. It depends. It shows you loyalty.
Yeah. So that was it. There was no getting away from it. Even if you had been to every game on a match-by-match basis this season, if you had not bought a ticket in the Championship, you could not get a ticket for those 6 games. That's Sunderland. And we still sold out every game, home and away.
On top of that, I'll be honest with you, Malta. I mean, I've tried myself. If you didn't buy those tickets for the Championship, you couldn't get a ticket, and then for the 4 seasons, 5 seasons beyond that, right? When I was trying to buy tickets for an away game, I had 1 Black Cats point.
Right? The thing is, the
and
Black Cats point.
It was impossible to do.
It's 3 seasons, right? It's 3 seasons the run for. They're calculated. So the max number of Black Cats points you can have, I think, is 105 at the moment.
So right? How do you get the Black Cats point?
So my mate, who never misses a game, home or away, for maybe 30 seasons, has got 105 points. Right? And I think he's at the very top of the list. I don't think anybody's got any more points than him. But I think there is probably 1,000 people who've got the same number of points of him. Then there's another 1,000 people who have got more than 70 Black Cat points. And then there is probably another 3,000 to 4,000 people who have got more than 50 Black Cat points. Right? And the games normally, away games, never go below 50.
No, I know.
And those people are going. I know people who've been going home and away for years and years and years because that's just part of their lifestyle. They go to away matches. Now, the thing is, what happens is when people can't make games, right? This is what I would like to see being bought in. And I'm going to speak to the Premier League and the Football League, is that I want to see an ID check for all away games. Because you know why? Then you can't not go to the game, sell the ticket to your mate goes, thinking it's you, right? And then, so then if you can't go, there's no resell of your ticket. So the person going has to be the person with those 50, 60, 70 Black Cat points That's the only way other people can actually build the Black Cats points up. So and you know what it is? I'm going to be speaking to the Premier League over the summer, right? Because it's fans from every club in the country
Who have the
has
same
got the
problem.
same issue. In the Premier League, they have. I mean, maybe not those who have got like lots of sort of like Chelsea didn't sell out their allocation yesterday, right?
Why not?
Chelsea, what?
How come?
How come? Well, it was a combination of two things. It was train works, right? There was because it was a bank holiday, so there's works on the train. That's why I'm not sitting in London right now. Normally Monday night I'm sitting in London. I'm going to London tomorrow. There was also big weekend, so there was no hotel rooms available in Sunderland, and there hasn't been hotel rooms available in Sunderland since the big weekend was announced, right? And so the Chelsea fans who were like, even normally they'd come over and stay over in Newcastle. Big weekend, people were staying in Newcastle as well. Sunderland got sold out, Durham got sold out, Newcastle got sold out, right? And so it was that there was no flights, there was no trains. You know, the trains again had been filled up. Obviously, Sunderland fans from London, they all come, like the London branch, they all come on the train and they book their tickets as soon as the fixture's confirmed. And then you've got, you know, I think we've got something like 4,000 season ticket holders inside the M25 who come to Sunderland games. Who've been and that number has been consistent for years and years and years. So that's why Chelsea didn't sell out all their away allocation, because it was just like, I mean, the lad who did the opposition preview podcast, I think on Wise Man Say, even he didn't come to the game. It's like, and he runs a podcast and he goes to Chelsea games and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Because they weren't really bothered about getting into the Europa League or the Conference League. For them, as world champions, it was just like, oh. And they knew that their players, most of them had checked out anyway, and they're waiting for their new manager. So that's why yesterday would have been an opportunity for those Chelsea fans who don't have Blues points or the equivalent, you know, would have been able to get it. You very rarely get that chance to get that, earn that Black Cats point. It's only for FA Cup and League Cup away games that you do get that option to get that point, because all of the people who've got the points are all going. And then because you get a large allocation, I think we got 7,000 something for Everton. But yeah, again, it's like for fans, I mean, Sunderland do it well. You know, those fans, the tickets go on sale. It's the same time every week. Everybody knows what time the tickets go on sale. If you're a member, you can get a ticket as long as you're in the queue on time. So there's lots of people who've gone to games without having a season ticket and who were there in the championship, so they've been able to get those matches as well. You know, people work shifts, people work, what are the Geordies say, the back shift at Nissan? I don't even know what that means, but it's something that they take the piss out of. Right? What does it mean, Scotty?
The back shift at Nissan. It's like the night shift, mate. It's like
Back shift, it's half an afternoon shift and it's half an early evening shift.
There you go.
Basically,
Right.
you're going in at either 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you're there till 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. That's
Right.
back shift.
Right.
Then you've got
I've never
night
worked in a factory, and I've never worked
Neither
shifts.
have I, mate. Neither have I. I
So I
mean,
didn't. I never knew what it meant.
Then
we
you've got
don't do
night
back
shift
shifts.
that takes over 10 o'clock at night or sometimes 6 in the morning. Then you've got days, 6 in the morning till round about, in my particular time, 6 at night. I mean, I was a truck driver, so
All right.
I was on days, and mine were constant 14-hour shifts. So I was on 5, 6 in the morning or 7 at night. Back shift would be 12 till about 8, and then nights would start 8 o'clock or 8 in the morning.
We don't have a back shift in the NHS anyway.
Oh,
Do
does
you?
somebody get hurt or get injured during the night, like, so they don't need urgent treatment? Because I did.
Well, we have night shift. We don't have back shift though, because your back shift
All right.
would be like 1 till 10 or whatever, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have that. We have 8 till 8 or 7:30 till 8, and
Yeah.
then 8 till 7:30 in the morning.
What do you do
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
Scotty? What do you do again?
Me, I work for cardiac arrest team.
Do you?
Yeah.
So the moral of that story is, have an heart attack during the day, not in the afternoon.
You want one on a night. You want one on a night. Telling you now,
Right.
if you want to have a cardiac arrest, you want to have one on a night. There's less people about,
All right.
less chaos.
Uh-huh.
And
Shit
less
gets-
chance of survival.
Should
You know
get
where your
done.
closest defibrillator is, Scotty?
Yes,
Where is it?
it's in
You're
Merton.
gonna say, yeah, in my bloody house.
It's in Merton. No. Do you know what it is? You're more likely to survive a cardiac arrest if you have one outside of the hospital.
Yeah, it's at the Metro Centre because I've worked a lot in the NHS and we did a defibrillator deployment and that around the country.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good crack. Good crack.
Cool. Right,
Right,
then, well,
look, what I tell you what,
closing remarks.
what
Cabby.
a show it's been tonight. It was only supposed to be for an hour.
You know what it is? I think we got carried away. Carried away.
Fucking hell.
I tell you what, they still played Davy's voice at the stadium, eh?
Oh, it was you know
Yeah.
when that happened, I got a lump in my throat when that happened, Because what did Davey say? We were gonna get into Europe. He said we were gonna finish 7th.
That's exactly what he said. That is just absolutely.
Right?
It's balmy.
You know
It's
when they played that?
absolutely balmy.
The stadium was full when they played that. The stadium, everybody got in early. The tavern emptied at like 3:15. The tavern emptied.
It's mad to think he was a regular on the show, and it's like I got him on a free transfer, man, and it was like it's such a goddamn shame. What happened? Like, I mean, he must have done 100 and odd shows with us on here. Such a damn shame, and to have his voice still getting played over the tannoys, man, it's absolutely nut. Do you know who we're on about, Scotty?
I don't know, mate, but I think do you know what I will always say? Your club's always been more family oriented than Newcastle will
You're
ever
a community
be.
club where you know what it is. You know the best thing about Sunderland, they've always been the community club, right? You know Luke O'Nien. He actually does so much stuff, right, with young players. He's on LinkedIn and that, and he does a lot about mentality as well. Because to become an elite level player, you've got to have a certain mentality, and he teaches
100%.
kids about that mentality. You've got to have that laser focus. I mean,
I don't think
you
it's
a
just that, though,
paramedic?
mate. I think you look after your fans better. I genuinely just think you look after your fans better than what we ever have.
Would they do, and these last couple of years. Honestly, I mean, I remember the terrible days under Roker Park, but even at Roker Park, we've still got looked at, right? We still got looked after. They still did a lot in the community, right?
Yeah.
Under Bob
I mean,
Murray,
Newcastle
we were
do.
known as the community club.
Yeah, Newcastle do that. We do that type of work. But what I'm meaning is, you seem to have a better. We're getting it back. It went under Ashley. We had no connection to the club or whatever. It's coming back. We are more united than we ever have been. But we still don't get that personal touch. We don't seem to have that personal touch that you guys have. And I don't know what it is. We can't seem to grasp that.
No,
It probably starts with marketing.
Because your
Right?
owners.
It probably starts with your marketing department. You walk into our supported shop, right? And the one thing, all right, it's run now by a firm called Fanatics, who's affiliated back in the club. But the one thing that struck me the first time when they took it over is they had signs up, lads, lasses, and bairns.
Aye. Just little things. But you know, so
Just,
you know when
it's
they
just
launched
little
the first
things
strip,
like that that makes
you
the
know,
big
they launched
difference.
the first strip
Yeah.
in the championship, right? Kirill Louis Dreyfus was there handing out pink slices. And then
Oh,
when
I was
Regis
there that
Labrie
day.
signed, he was there saying hello to everybody. Like he just signed, and then we launched the strip like a couple of days later, right? He was there, glad handing everybody in the queue. He stopped and got a photo with every single person.
Yeah.
Bawley was there, I think. Kev was there. Benno was there. You know, everybody got looked after. Everybody got a pink slice, right? You know, and it was just like, you know, big clubs like, you know, faceless clubs like Man United, and I would have to say Newcastle, and I would have to also say even Arsenal, right? They are faceless clubs. The owners have got nothing. They don't have a finger in the game as such with the community, right? But I can imagine the Brentford chairman doing that. And imagine Tony Bloom doing that. Tony Bloom goes in the bloody away end with the Hearts fans, right? Tony Bloom goes in the away end with the Brighton fans, right? He's the chairman of the club and he's going in the away ends.
Well, the last time we had one that happened, Ashley drank a
Mike.
pint, and then yeah. By God, if we knew then, Christ, if we only knew then when he was drinking that pint, could have
Right,
choked
lads,
the bastard
I've
with
got
it.
to get up in the morning and get myself off to the big smoke. So,
Aye, well, cheers for
whatever
the
you
night,
stream,
Scotty,
Cabby.
Malta, Richie. It's been a marathon one, but I mean, obviously, it's an end of season one.
It has been, but it's been the end of season one, and we're all on a high. You know,
Excuse me, not all of us.
wait, all right. I'll give
Well,
I'll give you
Sunderland's
that
on a
one, Scott.
high, and there's a big gap in emotion between Sunderland and Newcastle.
Oh, okay, then I can't wait to shut you up next season, Malta.
Let's see. 6 easy points. What's that? That's 11 games now unbeaten against.
Aye, Anton, you've got to be in the frigging league to play us first, mate.
Hey, we came to the league. Alan Shearer said, yes, it's okay, Sunderland getting promoted, because what's it going to be after 3, lads? It's going to be 6
easy points.
Right?
And I get, lad.
I remember Gary Lineker butting in saying, "Careful what you say, Shearer, son." He knew. He knew. Lineker knew.
Do you know,
So, Scotty,
she was
let's
always
see what
going to say.
happens next season. June the 19th, the fixtures come out. So, Cabby, June the 19th, are you going to do a show for the fixtures?
Well, I'm still doing a show every Thursday. I mean, I don't know.
I know, but I don't know what day June the 19th is.
I'll have to look. I'll have to look at the old, the old diary and stuff. I still think we're doing a Mackem Mag show every Monday as well, because we'll have a bit crack on in that. But
Right,
I'll have to keep an eye.
I have to go.
Enjoy.
And what a fantastic season! What a fantastic year!
It has.
And all I can say is, away the lads!
Away the lads. Cheers, Richie. Cheers, Scotty.
Enjoy, mate.
Thanks a lot, everybody on the chat. We'll catch you later.
Scott.